Good morning. It's about 9:30 on April the 5th, 2008. Now this is the time of year when in Canada and other places that have cold weather, the maple trees have had all their sap in the ground all winter. And now it's coming back up into the trees. On the days when it is coming up into the tree, it's above freezing. At night it goes back down below freezing. And that's when you have good sap for making maple syrup. Now if you try and make sap or try and make syrup from sap when it's just up all day, like it's above freezing all day, you don't get good syrup. So this is a sugaring bush. It's a maple bush.
Sugar bush.
A sugar bush, that's it. I have to have my linguistics professor here with me to give me help. Okay, so now what people do, if you want to make maple syrup, then you find a maple tree. Now this maple tree, you see the width of this tree. It's what, 10 inches, 12 inches? You see that can hold one bucket. If a tree is bigger, like that tree over there is maybe, what's that, 16, 17 inches? That could probably hold 2 buckets. Okay, now the bucket is put under the main branch. If you have a branch coming out, that's where you put the bucket. Okay, and in order to put the bucket there, you see this is called a spile. This little thing right here. It's got a shadow on it. I don't know if I can do anything about that. There. Hope that's shining on it. You drill a hole with one of those hand drills, or you could use a power drill, I guess. And this hole then, as the sap is coming up the tree, the sap gets diverted into that. Now you see here. You see that? Look at that. There's sap in the bucket. See all that? And if you watch this, you can see that it's dripping. Now that's running pretty fast, don't you think? How long do you think it would take for that to fill up? See, this bucket was emptied yesterday at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And already it's that much full. So they'll be back around to empty more. Now this has a lid on it to keep leaves from falling in and to keep rain and snow, everything else that will dilute your sap. Okay, now in a sugar bush, this is Pat's sugar bush, she has trails where she comes along with her tractor, and on the back of the tractor she has a big tank. And so you can see all these tracks here where one person is driving the tractor and the other person is running out and emptying the pails and coming back. You see this? And so she's got quite a few buckets along the trail. Now if she had buckets elsewhere that were deep into the woods, she would have driven a different path. You see all these buckets? And there's different kinds of ways to collect sap. You can collect it with buckets or you can do it with tubing. But this is the bucket way, and there's a name for that, but I haven't a clue what it is. My linguistics helper, what is it?
No idea, sorry.
He doesn't know either. You can look it up. Go to Google. Just Google it. Okay, well that's Nancy today showing you how maple sap drips into buckets. And if you collect it, you can boil it down and make maple syrup. Now you have to boil 40 gallons of sap down to 1 gallon to get 1 gallon of syrup. So you can see it's quite a lot of process, and there's a lot of steam. If you do it in your house, your whole ceilings get covered with a little bit of sticky stuff. Now also, on a very cold night, it'll freeze, and the sap in the bucket, the water in the sap, will freeze. Sometimes you can take that and throw that away and cut down your time, because sugar doesn't freeze the way that water does, right? So if you put your maple syrup in the freezer, it shouldn't freeze if it's been boiled down properly. If it's still got a lot of water in it, it will freeze. Try that. Okay, and if you have a maple syrup bush, a sugar bush, sorry, how do I talk anyway? If you have a sugar bush, you can try this at home, but you probably already know that because your neighbors are probably already doing it. And it's a lot cheaper to do it yourself than to spend $40 a gallon or $45 a gallon to buy maple syrup. Bye.